So, with award season kind of pretty close, I kind of decided, gotta talk about award movies, movies that are prestigious, movies that probably gonna get Oscars, things like that. The first movie was The Critic with Ian McKellen, which was directed by Anand Tucker, who brought us Girl with a Pearl Earring, have never heard of it, have never seen it, Hillary and Jackie, as well as Leap Year. And Ian McKellen was the only reason why I went to go see this movie. Mark Strong is in it also. I can't remember anyone's name, so just bear with me. And the movie talks about a very powerful theater critic, Ian McKellen, named Jimmy. If this guy does not like you, and he writes a, very bad review, then you're done. You're gone. Without going into spoilers with this movie, he gets caught in a bit of a scandal, and he tries to essentially blackmail his way out of the situation he's in. I really can't talk about this movie without spoiling it, so obviously if you're planning on watching it, don't watch the video. Or maybe you can. I don't know. It's very hard to talk about movies without spoiling them. So I thought this movie was really slow in the first 35 minutes, I want to say, and then it picks up toward the second act. This movie wasn't spectacular. I was glancing at my phone a couple times just because I really thought to myself, okay, when is something gonna happen? When does Ian McKellen channel his inner Magneto and, really make this thing go off the rails? And to be fair, it did, but it was just really, really slow, which is fine. I love slow burn movies, but you have to understand, when it's something, it takes place in the 1900s. I think it was the 30s, 1930s, I want to say. I think a lot of people aren't gonna like this movie. And it goes without saying, even with the great cast. Hang on, I need to see who else is in this. Aside Mark Strong, you have Leslie Manville and Gemma Arterton? I think that's her name? I'm really bad at pronunciations. I mean, they all do great, performance-wise. Cinematography, this movie really didn't do anything for me. The neon lights were nice to look at, but honestly, that's basically it. I'd say that if you're a fan of Ian McKellen, or the other cast. Hang on, how long is this movie? That's the question I have for myself. I believe... Okay, it's under 2 hours, so if you want to kill 2 hours, go watch the movie. It's not the worst movie I've seen this year, but it's also not the best. I would say it's fine, honestly. The next movie I saw was... Hang on, I swear, when I get my new setup in order, it's going to be so much easier to type, to talk, to do everything in my power. The next movie I saw was Sing Sing, directed by Greg Quadar, who gave us a movie called Transpescos and a short called Dakota. I've never heard of any of these movies, but it looks like Sing Sing was his American debut. I don't know if that's really a term. Oh, Gabriel Lune is in it, who I think was in Terminator, I think. Oh god, he was in Terminator 6. Oh boy. This movie follows a group of inmates. I don't know what facility they're in. I guess it's called Sing Sing. I could be very wrong about that. Instead of loitering around and causing trouble with the other inmates, starting fights, killing each other, some of these people decide to stage plays. And this movie, it looked amazing. The performances were great. Coleman Domingo was amazing, as well as the guy who was in Sound of Metal a few years back. Really great. I'm forgetting a lot of these actors' names, but they all do just awesome work. I mean, I almost cried a couple times during this movie. It's not very easy for me to do that, especially, well, like during some movies. We don't talk about Marcel the Shell, but I thought the music was fantastic. I thought the cinematography was pretty great. Honestly, I mean, those are just a couple movies that I saw this past weekend. There was also a showing of Whiplash, which I talked about in my last video. This weekend, The Wild Robot comes out, as well as Megalopolis, which I saw a review of it earlier. I've heard some interesting things, and I also know there's some allegations with Francis Ford Coppola, but we're not going to get into that. It's just kind of a bad rep he's given himself. I don't know. Thank you for watching. It is pizza time.